Hello, welcome to the Drive Home podcast. Pilot number 3. I'll probably call this the I Love Dragon Ball episode. I closed again today, and I stopped by a store, so the episode should be about the same length, though, because that the store that I went to is actually right next to my store, so there shouldn't be a problem with that. 15 to 20 minutes. As always, I strive for what's the word? It starts with a C. It's the word repeating the same thing. I want to say content, but it's not continuity. I strive for regularly scheduled, same time, whatever. You guys know what it is, or you don't. I can't remember. I know it's a word, though. Either way, today at work was fine. I didn't work too long, but it was enough work for the day. It's the weekend now, so there's more people around, so that makes it a little bit tougher, but it's nothing I can't really handle. Yeah, so I think 2 days ago at this point, I had 2 days off from work, so the infrequent uploads is a work problem, not a me problem. Don't worry about it. If I don't upload for a week, I'm on vacation. But I'll probably mention that in the most recent episode before vacation week, so don't worry about it. The long story short is, about 2 days ago, I finished watching through the final chapters of Dragon Ball Z, I guess. They just call it the final chapters. But it's just the Buu saga, I guess. Which, I guess it's complicated to explain, but I watched, minus the first 1 or 2 episodes, I believe, of Dragon. I haven't seen Dragon Ball, and I don't read Dragon Ball manga. I don't know. Dragon Ball is awesome. I love it. But that's a lot of reading. I have 27 volumes of One Punch Man, which I think is how many are out right now. But I haven't even gotten through season 2 of One Punch Man. And I haven't read it, I haven't read something in an actual while, so I'll get to reading eventually, but I've got a lot to catch to read, and at this point I don't have a lot of space on my bookshelf or in my room in general for just Dragon Ball manga. And also, if I was going to read something, it would be One Piece, because One Piece is awesome. Dragon Ball is also awesome, don't get me wrong, but if I wanted to read something that I haven't gotten anything for yet, in terms of I own a Dragon Ball and a One Piece shirt. I'm an anime kind of guy. I get recommended. Well, I didn't used to be. I saw One Punch Man, and that was the beginning, kind of. Well, that was the awakening, I guess you could say. Because when I was younger, I don't remember. I was in elementary school at the time. and some of you might actually remember this, on Nickelodeon or whatever, around the same time Avatar was airing, The Last Airbender, which also a great show. I don't count it as anime because it was, I think it was actually, like, it was made, it's like a Nicktoon or a Nickelodeon original, I think. It's not like made, it wasn't a manga at first, or at least it wasn't, I don't know. Avatar: Last Airbender is amazing. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. If you don't like normal cartoons, you still might like Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you don't like anime, you still might like Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you don't like anything animated, you still might like it. And I hear the Netflix adaptation isn't the worst thing in the world, even though what the director or whoever said about it didn't sound great. I hear it's not the worst thing in the world. I haven't seen it because I want to rewatch through The Last Airbender. Because I'm getting one of my friends to watch through it with me, and he hasn't seen it, like, at all. We watched the first episode last week or something, and he's not really an anime guy, but I got him to watch it, and it's not technically an anime, but he says he doesn't like the anime style, and it does have that kind of style. But to be fair, I think the only, like, animated shows he watches were Regular Show, Adventure Time, and SpongeBob. And even then, with Regular Show and Adventure Time, to, like, really watch them, he used a subscription service to, like, watch all the way through. Though he knows they're good, so. And, SpongeBob's on all the time, so you can just watch an episode whenever. It's on somewhere. Either way, I digress. The main point is, for the longest time, when I was really young, I got a glimpse of Dragon Ball, and I don't know how I watched through as much of it as I did, but I basically watched through, like, after Raditz died, I guess. Like, I didn't see that. I didn't know Raditz was a thing. It was literally Piccolo training Gohan, Goku going the dragon's way or whatever to get to King Kai's planet, and then everything after that up until the end of the Cell saga, I believe, or at least to like the Cell games arc. I don't remember if I actually ended up finishing that, but no, I guess I must have, because I also watched I think I watched, like, the first 2 episodes of the Boo saga, which I think there are, like, more specific, like, terms. I just do it by, like, the main villain. So for, like, just Dragon Ball Z in general, it's Frieza saga, Cell saga, Boo saga. And you can always kind of tell because, like, the story changes in between, so, like, I know, like, the beginning is, like, the Saiyan saga for, like, a little bit or something, but I just chalk it up to it's the Frieza saga, because they're only there because of Frieza. Anyway, I saw, like, the first 2 episodes, maybe, of, like, the Boo saga, and then I never saw another episode of Dragon Ball, except, well, a little bit later, I saw, like, the first season of GT up to Goku beat, I know Goku went Super Saiyan 4, and he beat Baby 2, or whatever he calls himself. The little pile of sludge or whatever that possesses people. I don't know. I didn't get to watch season 2. I don't know why, but I didn't. But anyway, I watched through the entirety of the Boo saga, and I finished watching it 2 nights ago, and it is really good. I wish I had seen it sooner, and all that stuff, and it's just it's really cool. I wish I had done it sooner. And then I don't know, I was talking to my friend. He's a bigger Dragon Ball fan than I am. So he got me to watch Super. It was one of like the first anime besides One Punch Man that I actually watched. Because One Punch Man was so hype, especially season 1. Season 2 kind of dropped invisibly, like it was out, but no one talked about it, I think. Like I swear one day it was just like halfway done and I had heard nothing about it. And at that point I hadn't been reading the manga, so I had no idea but what was going on. And you know, like I'm not a long way. I think from what I remember, I'm near Saitama starting the Saitama posing as Trunko for the tournament bid from season 2. It's like the beginning of that plot point. Anyway, you know, so I'm not super knowledgeable, but I've seen Full Metal Alchemist and I think the first season of Fairy Tail. I'm trying to remember. I'm supposed to watch Jujutsu Kaisen at some point. I haven't started it yet, but oh yeah, and I've seen season 1 of My Hero Academia. So I've seen a couple of things, I think, and I might be forgetting something. I might not. I don't remember. Well, gee, man, just start speeding. I don't know if anyone else ever gets aggravated at this, but I'm going 5 miles above the speed limit, as is normal for most people. I usually actually go the speed limit, but there's a certain area where it's 35 and it doesn't really need to be 35, so I go 40. It's fine. It's whatever. It's not like I'm in a town. But yeah, no, I just got passed, and I shouldn't take it personally, but they're speeding, like legitimately. I think anything above 5 miles above the speed limit is speeding. That's my go-to. I think that's the cutoff. Anywhere higher than 5 miles, speeding. I don't care if it's 10 or 15 or 7. It's too fast. Anyway, the Buu Saga was awesome. And it's funny because I watched through the entirety of Super, and like before I watched through the Buu Saga. And when I say the entirety of Super, I mean I didn't watch the Battle of Gods movie or whatever, the one that's basically like the first bit, like I guess isn't it the fight between Beerus and Goku or whatever? I haven't seen that movie, but I've seen Superhero and I've seen the Broly Super movie, I guess, is probably what you'd call it. So, you know, I know Dragon Ball. Buu, and it was funny because I remember specifically, I didn't know who Buu was in GT, because Buu was very important towards the end of the first season, because if I remember correctly, he saves Mr. Satan and Pan and possibly Goku. I think Goku's unlocking Super Saiyan 4 at this point, but Buu's posing to be brainwashed by Baby or whatever, and is like following what every other human is doing, and that I can't remember the specifics, but I didn't remember Buu because I hadn't witnessed Buu at all. And so it was really interesting to me, just like not knowing what he was, I guess, or like in retrospect, like not knowing. I might have just assumed he was from the original Dragon Ball and he didn't have much of a use in like Z, because I think I knew there was an original Dragon Ball at some point, though I can't remember when. Anyway, that whole thing inspired me to play a lot more of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which, if you like playing, I don't know, if you like games and you like Dragon Ball, I think you'll like it. It takes you through Z, so, you know, like, Goku introduces Gohan to the Kame crew or whatever, and then Raditz kidnaps the child to, I think, like, I haven't beaten the actual story yet, but I think, you know, just to like the end of the Buu saga, or I guess the end of Z. Oh no, wait, that's DLC, I think, yeah. Because the end of Z is just like the 1-2 episodes where they're registering for like the next tournament of power, and Pan is talking and alive, I guess. I don't know. Does anyone else think that teenage Goten kind of looks like Yamcha? Like, is that just me? Maybe it's because he's always talking about his girlfriend, but he looks a lot like Yamcha when he's dressed in like the turtle school uniform or whatever, the gi that, you know, Yamcha and Goku and Krillin wear. Maybe that's just me, as I think they're teenagers. It's always hard to tell with Saiyans because they're teenagers, but like, Trunks never changes. Trunks is either a child or he's like a teenager, but he could also be an adult because Saiyans don't age, but they do. Like, I know the rule is like they rapidly age once they get too old, but like still, it's just really weird. Anyway, because that's that. I don't know. There's a crap ton of DLC. There's you can XP grind efficiently, basically, in the first DLC. I haven't touched the second, and you can unlock Super Saiyan God as a transformation. And then I think the second wave of DLC, which I haven't touched, gives you Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Blue. And then the third is Trunks, the Warrior of Hope, which is the Trunks from the Cell Saga. You play as him the whole time, and like the future Trunks from the Cell Saga. And I didn't know this, but he has his own version of the Buu Saga, which honestly I didn't realize how, like, I knew his life was like crappy. I didn't know it was that bad. That's all I'm really gonna say, because god damn, like, having to witness like Cell Saga Trunks just like exist is pain. It like gives me pain. It saddens me to like my core. It is so sad. He might be the warrior of hope, but everyone else is dying. Also, they did apparently, though I didn't know this until I talked to my Dragon Ball friend about it, but in that in the future the Warrior of Hope Trunks saga, I guess. I guess originally the Gohan that trained that the I guess the Warrior of Hope timeline Gohan got like completely manhandled by the androids and died, while in the Warrior of Hope in Kakarot, like he does get manhandled, but at the last second I think he does a one-handed Kamehameha, or it's either a one-handed Kamehameha or he does like a Masenko, or one of the beam moves, and he like pushes them back a little bit, and then they go full power, and it's so sad. And I think it's really it's worse because there's barely any music going on the whole time, so you're just literally watching like him die, and it's so sad. And there's a fight. You fight as him, getting beaten up by the androids, and you can't even win. Like, you win the first fight, but then it's like, oh, well, now he's exhausted because they power it up or whatever. And Gohan's just exhausted. So what happens is you can't use any of your named attacks or whatever. You can only do like the basic punches and whatnot. And they're slow, and they don't do nearly any damage, and it's so sad. The whole thing is so sad. And and then they start wailing on you and stuff, and essentially you just get stuck at like 1 health because you can't dodge, you can't do any like good actions. You're just stuck like moving extremely slow and just being able to fight back by punching little. You don't even get basic ki blasts. That's how sad it is. And you're just there and you can do nothing, but goddamn, I had to try. Like, I don't know, it's so sad, and that's technically in the past, but like it's still it's so sad. And that timeline, Trunks finds him, goes Super Saiyan, and then trains for 3 years. Then uses the time machine to go back in time to give Goku the heart medicine or whatever. And then all of Cell Saga happens, basically. Because and whatever. And the cool thing is that they really weirdly changed the future. It's hard to say, but after the Cell Saga happens and Future Trunks goes back to his timeline, I guess he's thinking about using the time machine again or something. And then not perfect Cell shows up because he beat the androids at that point, so they're stuck. Or, well, Cell is stuck without his perfect form. And so he ends up beating Cell, and then he has like a Buu Saga thing happen. And if you've seen the Buu Saga, there's like at least 2 moments where you're like, oh, so that's what's gonna happen. But then it's like, no, it doesn't happen. And it's really sad. It's what happens in the Buu Saga for Trunks too. So, and that's a lot harder to like level up in if you're not careful. Like I'd say if you go through the main game and then do Trunks Warrior of Hope, maybe you can max out the training bonuses so you can like earn double XP or something. But that, and just like getting rainbow orbs and like the Z orbs needed is really difficult in that game mode, or with that extra story. And then there's like 3 others. I think one is I can't remember. One is Bardock's story. I touched that a little bit and I had fun with it, and Bardock is one of my favorite characters, so that works out. And then one is the end of Z, because it's Goku with the blue gi and stuff and whatever. Like the clothes he wears in GT for the most part until he gets 4, I guess. And then one is original Dragon Ball. So I think it's like the Tournament of Power where Cell, or not Cell. I just said Cell because I said tournament. And it's not Tournament of Power. It's the World Martial Arts Tournament. I can't remember which one it is because they have numbers, but I forget. But I think it's the one where Piccolo shows up. And I said Cell because I was imagining a green man showing up at a tournament, okay? Either way, this has gone on for a little bit longer than it needs to. I am home. So, the Drive Home podcast is going to head out now. Thank you for listening to my insanely stupid Dragon Ball rant. But if you do, I would check out Kakarot. It is a fun game. And I like it. And if you like Dragon Ball, it's very story orientated, so you'll have fun with it, if nothing else.